being a doctor, being a great conversationalist, those two go hand in hand.
Oh yeah,
When you're dealing with patients all the time.
absolutely.
Elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, it's so important to be able to talk to patients. That's really what they're looking for. Is they're looking for someone who can talk with them and not be some sort of patriarchal icon. Patients don't want to be talked down to; they want to be talked to or talked with. And the biggest part of being a doctor is listening to your patient. There's a saying, you listen to your patient and they'll tell you their diagnosis. And
Wow.
it's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more information that I can get from them,
right.
the more I can be able to actually diagnose them.
I imagine there's times where the actual diagnosis isn't medications or, it's by, like you're saying, listening to them, you hear that there's something else going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, also just in being a scribe, I'm seeing how the doctor interacts. The like friend aspect, I've noticed it goes in any career. Like there's no way to be successful in any career without doing things that, like, there's this one book that a lot of business entrepreneurs attribute their success to, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
And it outlines things that are transparent amongst any career of listen to other people, make the other person feel important.
Yeah.
Now, as a doctor, though, you've got to do that the same way with the 8 o'clock patient, 12 o'clock patient, and 4:40 patient on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Along with all other 15 patients that you see. I've talked too long, but how much, elaborate.
Yeah, it's tough. I try to take people as they come, try and meet people where they're at. Sometimes I get patients who have pretty much all the time I have patients that have very unrealistic expectations who really don't understand the limits of medicine.
Right.
And really expect me to be able to just wave a magic wand and make their life perfect.
Right.
So many of my patients are looking to feel like they're 30 again or 20 again, and it's like medicine doesn't do that. There is a branch of I guess you probably call it pseudoscience. It might be actual medicine nowadays called regenerative medicine that kind of looks at restoring the body to its youth, or trying to keep the body youthful. And the thing is you just, in my opinion, that's just so contrary to the whole idea of living. You can't live without dying. You can't live without aging. And aging is, unfortunately, deterioration of the body. And so most of what I have to do as a primary care physician is manage the expectations of my patients. And it's really taxing to do that, because I feel like at times I'm giving them reasons not to believe in medicine, but I'm educating them on the real limits of medicine and what medicine can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, bringing them closer to that acceptance. Acceptance is like the only thing that moves us forward.
Yeah. And there's so many patients who don't want to hear that. And when they hear it, they either reject it and they get angry, or they kind of just let it sit with them, or they accept it. And it's it's very rare that I have a patient accept it.
Right.
So like on my welcome visits, that is the moment to set realistic expectations. And I don't hesitate to set them at that point.
That's good.
Because my patients are going to succeed if they understand what's possible. They're going to fail if they have this idea that is impossible to achieve. And so many patients come to our clinic with unrealistic expectations that were planted in their minds by commercials.
Man, I was at the bus stop a couple days ago, and there was just these two people hanging out, two bystanders, and they're just like, "Where you work? Oak Street? Oh man, I saw that commercial. The guy gets off the bus with the hot chocolate and he leaves the clinic doing the do-si-do, you know? Is that true?" You know?
Yeah, it
depends on how much cocaine we gave him.
Yeah, you know, it's so amazing how people see the same commercial and come across with different ideas behind that. Because I've had so many patients come in who are in a wheelchair, they've been paralyzed for years, and they think that I'm going to make them dance again.
Levitate.
Yeah, and it blows my mind.
Right.
Just so, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of how difficult it is to practice medicine in a population such as that. You know, like I love working with this population because they need medicine, and so many of them shun it. Yeah. And I love breaking barriers.
As a good doctor does.
Yeah, you know, and so everything with being a doctor is all about establishing that relationship of trust. And some people can do that, and other people are not as good. Some people suck. Then you got people who are just excellent at it. And so if I have a welcome visit with a patient and they, you know, I set expectations with them and they may or not be happy about what there is to be offered to them there, they still most of the time leave knowing that I was upfront and honest with them. And a lot of the times, most of the time, they thank me for that, whether they're upset or not.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Dr. Caggiano from Oak Street Health.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
It's truly an honor. Break us into how you became a doctor.
Yeah, so I got into medicine. I had a interest in it when I shadowed my youth religious leader do surgeries in the OR. It was really awesome watching him do radical neck dissections. And then
How was that, you know, going from, how old were you when you were in there?
Yeah, so I was 19 years old.
I mean, that's like getting drafted and being on the line of scrimmage day one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, I just stood back and I didn't do anything.
Right.
But I was all scrubbed in so that I was sterile at least, and stayed away from other things, from the sterile, gosh dang it, the sterile area, the sterile equipment and stuff. And so, but it was really cool to watch that and to feel the atmosphere there and feel like, I'm on that precipice between life and death and see that anatomy.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
On the front line.
So that got my interest into it. And then I went through college, and at the time I was married, and we had our first child. And so
that's a lot going on.
It was hard, working, raising a kid.
And studying.
Yep.
Holy crap, man.
And then did the 4 years of undergrad. I applied twice. So I did 2 application cycles. So the first year, I only got an interview at one medical school. So I retook the MCAT and reapplied the second year. And during that break year, I was teaching anatomy and physiology lab and working as a lab technician in the college biology lab.
Right.
And then I applied.
Stealing all the goodies.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I applied and I got into a osteopathic medical school in Yakima, Washington, called Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences. Yeah, I'm wearing my Yakima shirt. So this is on a billboard there when you drive into Yakima.
Yapping about Yakima.
So, yeah. And I grew up in Washington, so that was how I was able to get into that college, was showing them my roots in Washington.
What is like the inspiration to become a doctor? Because when I was growing up, I didn't even consider it. I thought it was something later on to think about, but to start young it seems to be the norm for doctors. What do you think triggered that?
There's such a status symbol, such an incredible height to reach. And I felt like it was something that I could really shoot for. Right. And I felt like I could do it.
What do you think made you have that feeling? Science ACT score? Or
I don't know. I was always smart. So things came quickly to me. It's a hard question to answer, especially with everything I know about myself now. Yeah, I think academics always came easy to me. So that at the time, that was why I felt like I could do it.
So I've got a bunch of friends that are going down the route of becoming doctors. I really don't have that many friends, but I like to sound smart.
It's okay.
And for the ones that are doing that, what are, like, based on your experience, any advice that you've got, and kind of your perception of the field as it is now?
Wow. Yeah, excellent question. Yeah.
Might be too much.
No. That's perfect. I've answered this so many times. Yeah.
Home run.
As you know, when I was in residency, I would work around medical students, or medical students, I guess, would work around me because I was the doctor.
Right.
And so they would.
Is that how it goes? Residency is you like become the big in a fraternity.
Kind of. So so you graduate medical school, and the day you graduate, you're a doctor. And then you start your residency July 1st.
What'd you do when you became a doctor? Cigar?
So at that, no, I was still a practicing Mormon at that time.
Margaritas?
I hugged my wife and kissed my kids, and we had a nice dinner. And yeah. Yeah, life wasn't that, you didn't have broad abilities to enjoy life as a Mormon.
Gotcha.
So everything was focused around family.
Well, sorry to stray away from
No, you're fine. Yeah, so so then you start your residency July 1st, and on your first year you're technically called an intern, and you're basically the a doctor in training, and you do everything. You have your what would I always call them? Your senior residents above you, or your uppers, and they would make sure you're not hurting anyone, and they would teach you and help you understand just exactly what it is you're doing.
Right.
And so as an intern, your job is to take care of everyone and also teach the medical students who are rotating with you. And so, and then if you have any undergrad students who are on the pre-med track, sometimes they'll come in. And so they would ask me this a lot, like, why did you do medicine, or
Right.
what do you recommend? And I would always tell them, number one, is there anything else that you could see yourself doing and enjoying your life, feeling satisfied and fulfilled? If you can see yourself doing that, try it out, do it.
Yeah.
If you don't feel fulfilled, come back to medicine.
And that's just because the medical school route is so, like, once you're in, you're in. Like, you have to lock in for a long time.
Yeah, it's intense. Yeah. It's intense. There's no way to prepare for it. And you also have this student loan debt just weighing over your head the entire time. And for me, at least, it was this just constant fear of failure. And
oh yeah, I see my friends studying, and they're always like really stressed out,
Yeah, and it's so, like, during medical school, that's all I did was study.
Right.
But if I was a depressed, anxious wreck, then I was in bed, mentally paralyzed.
Right.
And my kids are running around without really a dad who's functional.
That's so crazy, man. Like, that's, my friends don't have kids.
Yeah.
They're studying, and if they don't feel like studying, they go to the calf and shoot the shit. It's like,
yeah.
Jeez, what a responsibility. But continue.
Yeah, thanks. And so it was definitely tough, and you give up your young years really to that study. And you don't ever really get that back. And then you go into internship and residency, and before you even get to internship and residency, you have to do the match program, and hopefully you get into a residency. There's actually more medical students than there are residency spots.
Right.
So there's always this surplus of doctors who have put all of that time and money into becoming a doctor. They become a doctor, and then they don't match.
Right. It's like getting to heaven's gates after living like a nun your whole life, and it's like, wait, there's a limit,
Exactly. Yeah. And so you're always going through medical school with that fear. And so, like, I saw friends who were, during their 4th year of medical school, they went and did audition rotations for like 6 months. And basically what you're doing is you're working as an intern. So you're working basically as a brand new doctor in a residency program to show that you have what it takes. And
what's that, like Top Chef?
Kind of, yeah, yeah. It's you're basically doing everything that a first year resident would do,
Right.
and you're put under the microscope,
Yeah.
and you go between all the different residencies that you get accepted to do the audition rotation at. And so you're jumping between all of those, and hopefully you get interviews for the residency position while you're there or what have you.
Wow, man.
And then you do the match program. And so I had friends who like rotated at like 5 or 6 different residencies, and they didn't even get in. They didn't get into any of those residencies.
And by rotating, they're just like trying out at different spots.
Yeah, it's kind of like
get interviewed.
yeah, it's kind of like an extended job interview,
Right.
if you could call it that.
Right. Wow. And so the day that you get into the residency, that's like almost more enjoyable than getting your doctorate,
Yeah,
because that's it's so crazy that they make it so steep to become a doctor, when this field is like, it's already tough enough, is kind of what I'm getting. And then it seems like with the amount of debt that so many students bear, that like, why do they make it so tough to be something that is so needed?
yeah. That's a great question for Congress,
Right.
because Medicare dollars fund every single residency seat. And all Congress has to do is say, boom, we're going to fund through Medicare 1,000, 2,000 more residency seats. And then you'd have an explosion of residency programs. But
Yeah, it's just, you just spent your entire life grinding, and then again, like, even once you become the doctor or nurse, you just carry so much debt that you have to pay back afterwards. Like, why is the mountain so tall?
I don't know. Maybe it's to weed out people who aren't in it for the right reasons, I guess. But the thing is yeah.
Like, do you think that the mountain is the height that it's supposed to be?
No. I think it should be not as high. I think that the academic expectations are excellent. I think they're
Justifiable.
perfect where they should be.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
But the finding a job, finding a residency after it should be so much easier. Like, if you become a doctor, you should be guaranteed a position to practice your art,
Right.
your doctorate.
Right.
And
What are some things that at residencies they look for that is either holding people back or getting people in?
so most of the time residencies are looking so what's holding people back is either their MCAT scores or their GPA. So if your MCAT score isn't at a certain level, and I can't even remember what it is now, because the MCAT scoring is so much different from what it was when I
Right.
took it. That's like the first barrier you have to reach. And if you're too low, they don't even give you the
So
time of
what's
day.
the point of the follow-up interviews then, if it's all based on how well you did in the books?
Yeah, because then the follow-up interviews are about understanding your personality and seeing if you would be one of those doctors who could talk with people.
Right. And I guess that's what I'm getting at, is like, if they're just looking at MCAT and GPA, and as we were hinting at earlier, the probably secret sauce of being a doctor is your ability to engage with patients and hear them out, stuff that goes beyond a report card.
Yeah. So like the DO schools are definitely known for doing their can't remember what you call it now, but it's like they're like these mini multiple interviews. And so you do like 15, 20-minute interviews
Damn.
with like 10 different people or something. And in some of those interviews, you may be answering a medical question or an ethical question or something just way off the, way out of left field that you're like, why the heck are they asking me this? And so, and it's all to kind of see the type of person you are. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it doesn't do anything different for the medical field. The medical field is still just so malignant and so destructive, and that's because of all of the attendings who are there. Right. There's this the people who've already gone through the hell that is medical training are like, I went through hell, so you're going to go through hell too. Right. And they're not all about like supporting and making it a more, trying to find the right word, because I don't want to say that it should be easier, but it should be more humane. Mm. It shouldn't be hazing.
Yeah, and I immediately thought of fraternities. You go through the hazing, you're going to spank the other guy even harder,
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much what happens in residency.
And that's coming from a guy that's not a fraternity. I don't know if they're spanking or anything. Like that was a little sus.
I never did fraternity either. So
right. Music feeds the soul, but food feeds the future. Right here on the Gulf Coast, thousands of families don't know where their next meal is coming from. Feeding the Gulf Coast is changing that tune one meal at a time. Imagine this. For every $1, you can provide up to 5 meals. That's like turning a quiet solo into a full-blown jam session of hope for someone in need. Let's turn the volume up on kindness and down on hunger. Visit feedingthegulfcoast.org to donate today, because together we can make sure no one goes hungry on or off the stage. Feeding the Gulf Coast, because every community deserves an encore. Whoa, 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 don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof. But yeah, the humane aspect, that makes sense. Well, let's see. I really appreciate the way you broke that down. I know it's a prominent topic, the whole medical school, and where do you see it kind of evolve into? Do you think it'll positively evolve or negatively?
I'm hoping it'll get better. The American Association for Medical Colleges and the American Medical Association, they're trying to implement things to improve resident wellness, physician wellness. And I don't think it's going to change on a national level until people who are like me get to the top and become the leaders. Replace the old guard. Because it's like in the blood of medical training by the Halstead School. So William Halstead was the surgeon-in-chief and the first professor of surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in 1892. And
Oh, they were using scissors back then.
yeah, Halsted was running the surgical residency program, or basically invented it. And William Halsted was promoted to be the surgeon-in-chief because of how he worked circles around everyone. And the way he worked circles around everyone was he used cocaine.
Ah,
So he was using drugs
right,
to be supernatural.
right.
And because he couldn't sleep, because he was using cocaine, he started using morphine, which is easily accessible to a surgeon or an anesthesiologist, anybody who's in the OR or in the hospital. So he started using morphine to sleep. And so you have this god of surgery.
He was on that balanced diet.
Yeah, exactly. You have this god of surgery who's working circles around everyone
Right.
because he is using stimulants and opioids. And the modern medical training system is built on that. So if you build a system on a foundation of addiction and lack of healthy work-life balance,
Right.
you're going to breed it and you're going to intensify it. And so
So you think the ripple effect of him being doing ill-advised things to be a surgeon is now how the patients have. Is that what you're saying?
So what I'm saying is his surgical training program was the infant of residency. And so residency training programs were all patterned really according to how he did it.
Okay.
And so expecting people to work just as well as he did
I see. Got it.
is going to cause these people to do the same things that he did, which is use cocaine
Right.
so that they can keep up and stay awake and work
Right.
surgeries, work in the OR for 36, 48 hours,
Right.
and then use morphine so that they can sleep if they ever get a chance to
Do
sleep.
you think that some doctors still abide by those practices?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Hey fighters, listen up. Are you tired of feeling like your conditioning holds you back in competition? It's time to bridge the gap between theory and real performance. At Dexter's Fitness Center, we're launching a combat sports strength and conditioning program designed for boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, and combat athletes who want to get faster, stronger, and more flexible while building the endurance to go the distance. No more outdated workouts, no more burnout. This program is built to enhance your skill work, prevent injuries, and maximize your potential without wasting your time or overwhelming your body. Training starts August 12th at Dexter's Fitness Center, 1900 Government Street, Mobile, Alabama. Sessions are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you're ready to step into every fight confident, prepared, and in peak condition, call 251-709-2654 or email contact@dextersfitnesscenter.com today. Let's build the fighter you're meant to be.
Is this broad labor? I'd like to talk to you about the possibility of moving a couple of things for me from my daughter's house to my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Add a little sugar to their coffee.
Yeah. So like you build a system of training off of that, and then you let that system run its course for a century. Who knows what's going to come out, right?
Right.
And so that's why we've had a really huge problem at the turn of the century with physician suicide.
And is that wow? And is that just an American thing, or is that seen in other countries as well?
It's, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it is worse in America.
Yeah, because other countries make fun. Oh, you guys are too concerned about work.
Also, I'm not that well acquainted with the training at in other nations,
Right.
but everyone around the world is trying to get into American residencies, because once you do a residency program in America, you can practice anywhere in the world.
Got it.
And so we're like this shining light on this mountaintop,
Right.
and the easiest way to get through it is to use cocaine or to use stimulants to be supernatural.
Holy crap! So I mean, surely it's possible to do it without cocaine, but it's very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, I didn't know that was such a prevalent thing.
So it's more than anything, what is running rampant in physician health is alcoholism, alcohol use disorder. Alcohol is so easily accessible in our nation,
Right.
and it's culturally accepted for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to be a doctor and drink a lot of alcohol.
Oh yeah, I had a friend that studied better when he was drunk.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. And like, we're also seeing it in colleges, in undergrad. You don't have to be a medical student.
He was Buzz Weiser.
Buzzweiser. Yeah. There's concerns that on pretty much all college campuses, there is some sort of shady black market exchange of not methamphetamine, but prescription amphetamines.
Wow.
So you're expected to work supernaturally. You're going to break down. The body, the mind is not made to work like Superman.
And it's so crazy too, because doctors would know the lasting effects of these things.
Oh yeah. But it's the thrill and it's the thrill of being a doctor and reaching that
Right.
threshold of success
By any amphetamines necessary.
and crushing it, And so like here I am, nicotine, So like nicotine is a stimulant.
Right.
And so
There's actually no eating in the podcast. No,
so yeah, it's just that's why I got into addiction medicine. To know me, you have to know some really deep shit.
right.
Residency was hell,
Really.
especially COVID.
Oh, wow. You think, or in what ways did COVID make residency?
Death. So much death.
Wow.
It was frightening.
Really? Yeah.
So I graduated from medical school in 2019, and so that was May of 2019, started residency July 1st of 2019. And then we hit the height of, maybe not necessarily the height, but we start seeing COVID sweep through around February,
March, yeah.
and that was when I was in the ICU.
Oh, wow.
And
Wrong place at the right time.
it was intense. And talk about intense. Multiply that by 1,000,000, because I had walked away from the Mormon Church. I had served a 2-year mission for the Mormon Church. I had lived as a very, very devout Mormon
Right.
since the age of 11.
Right.
So 2019, I think I was like 34 or something like that. I don't know. All the years just come together now. But like, so I'm like 33, 34. And I'm seeing people die left and right. And I don't have any faith. I've lost my whole foundation of a belief in life after death.
Right.
I have no idea if any of my spiritual experiences were actually God reaching out to me, or if it was programmed into me by the Mormon Church. So I'm questioning my faith, which has always been a huge motivator for me,
Yeah.
and a huge strength for me. And now I don't have that anymore. And I'm expected to make decisions that could be life or death for patients. And so I have this massive, massive, like, debt of self-esteem. And you're a brand new doctor, and you're told fake it till you make it. So then you have imposter syndrome. You're like, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I'm a doctor by title because I graduated medical school, but what? Like, I don't know how to do this crap.
Right.
And so, needless to say, I won't go into debt, and I won't go into much detail about it, but I made some choices that almost ended my career right then and there. And it was harrowing.
Wow. I love your vernacular.
There's a lot of like religious vernacular because I spent so much time reading the Bible and the Book of Mormon.
Right.
And so harrowing was something that I remember from like,
True testament to your character.
yeah, like the soul, harrowing of the soul, sin and things like that. And so it,
No, yes, that is crazy. And I think it's something that, like, somehow the older generation doesn't tell you, that getting into your 20s is like when you feel just both optimistic and then desperate, and then just so much stuff clashing. But in your example, it's like the pinnacle of that, of course, with, I mean, having a family. And I'm butchering the story, obviously, but have you found that coming out of that alive on the other side, that your life isn't as stressful as that point, and yet your daily stressors still feel similar because we all like get used to it? It's all perspective.
yeah, and that, yeah. So like to kind of bring it full circle, it was because of those decisions that I made that almost ended my career that I saw just how prevalent addiction was.
Right.
And that's when I went through hell, made it back, proved that I could be a doctor and be an excellent doctor. And I had my vision from that point on, and it was to, and still is, to improve and evolve the practice of medicine and the training of medical professionals in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is caring and compassionate, in a way where we are expected as physicians to be just as caring and compassionate to others, to our colleagues, as we are expected to be to our patients. We're expected to give our patients everything, all of ourselves, kindness and compassion and caring and understanding. And the big problem with medical training is that you are beaten down and you are hazed constantly. And you come out of that end, you come out of the other end a shade of what you were. You're broken, kind of like boot camp. But boot camp, you're programming a soldier.
And they don't allow cocaine into boot camp.
It'd be pretty hard to get it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I mean, it's not allowed, of course, in the hospital either, but it gets there.
Yeah.
And that's the type of pressure you're under. And so my vision and why I got into addiction medicine is to help those who are helping the others. There's so much expectation and pressure, legal pressure, and the board watching over you, the pressure to constantly keep up with the new medical knowledge that is coming out every second.
Jeez,
And it's
and then once you dive into the ocean, you can't like ask for help in the middle of the ocean.
yeah, and it's we need to help each other in medicine. We need to not point the finger at a doctor who may have made one very, very minor mistake,
Right.
or said one thing wrong. We shouldn't point and ridicule. We should reach out and educate one another and help each other and accept that you can't know everything.
Right.
And that's what medicine needs to be. It needs to be collegial. It needs to be,
And it just became too egotistical, I think.
yes, absolutely. And that's a big part of why patients,
Sorry.
no, you're fine, but that's why patients don't feel like they're being listened to, because a lot of times they're working with these, I mean, they have doctors who are just massive egos that you just can't connect with
And
at
it's
all.
because it's just been, like you're saying, that they've become shades of their former self because of this institution. I mean, I really appreciate how you broke that down, because I see it in other aspects of anything. Athletes make it to the pros, and their characters change immediately because of the stress that they went through to get to that point. You know, it's like once you dive into a career, and again, when you're in the middle of the ocean, you've got all this student loan debt. You've got no choice but to keep swimming, because I wonder what the percentage is of medical professionals that say, I can't do this. Like once they get to residency, they're like, I'm not doing drugs to go through this. I'm out. But wait, I've got $1 million in debt. Is that a thing that like people change their career paths despite the fact that they've got so much debt?
It's becoming a thing
But
where
how do those people even survive? I mean, they just spent 12 years of their lives.
there's entrepreneurship. So when I made the decisions that I made that almost cost my career, I started seeing the therapist that I've now been seeing weekly for 5 years, whatever,
Zoom call or
6
in person?
years, in person most of the time.
Gotcha.
And she opened my eyes to the possibilities of having a doctorate, having that title. medical doctor. You don't necessarily have to be practicing in the clinic. There's a lot of entrepreneurship going on with like what is that? There's that all the online clinics nowadays. That's one way. You can also be like a medical liaison for or a medical specialist for like a business company that is providing some sort of medical product or something like that. A lot of doctors who don't make it into internship or residency will end up becoming like insurance reviewers. That's one way of doing it. And so they're the peer-to-peers. So they're sometimes, I'm not saying all of them do this, but sometimes they're the doctors who practicing doctors have to talk to force insurance to pay for things that need to be paid for. And so there are other avenues, but it's not as profitable.
Yeah.
But some people are making it work. I don't know of all the opportunities. Most people, most doctors who are like, I can't do this, will go into teaching.
Yeah.
That's usually where you see them go to. Or they just leave and they're just like done with medicine forever. And
That's a big burden to carry. Man.
it's a huge burden. You know, it's like at the end of the, so if I end up having to pay all of my student loans, I'll pay $1.25 million in student loans.
And how does that compare to the average?
You know, I'm not sure what the average is. That's a good question. I think the average is much lower because I had 2 kids and a wife at the time.
Right.
And so I took out max student loans every year.
Gotcha.
So,
And then also, sorry, the average.
No, you're fine.
I'd done a little research of like, not the interest build up on it, but I think it's like 200 grand is how much you take out typically, or
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. Most, so pretty much all the MD schools are publicly funded. All of the DO schools, the osteopathic schools, are private. And so they don't have as many limitations on how much they can charge tuition. And so DO schools, you usually pay more. And so I took out a total of $525,000. That went to, you know, paying our lease on our house, paying for our car, our insurance, utilities, food, clothing, everything.
yeah. Now that I think about it, I think 200 grand was for something else. It might have been like 600 grand.
Well, no, you might be right, because there's a lot of people who go through. There's a lot of doctors who go through medical school single,
Right.
and because they're smart. I was in the middle of I was brainwashed by what should be called a cult,
Yeah.
and was told you come home from your mission and you get married. You can't have sex unless you get married, and you get married and then you have kids, and you build your career while you're building a family.
That's just, you know, I'm not totally familiar with Mormonism. That concept of having a family in medical school, I can't wrap my head around. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's
That is
hard.
crazy.
And so, like, so many of my patients have, like, they're on Medicaid or Medicare. Like, I was on Medicaid. I had food stamps.
Yeah.
And so I know what it feels like. It doesn't feel good. And they think I came from some rich family, and I didn't at all. My dad didn't graduate high school. My mom graduated high school and did a year of college, but that was it.
Jeez, man.
And so, you know, like, there's some colleagues at
Right.
our clinic who treat me differently because I'm a doctor and think that I was privileged. Let's be honest. I'm a white male.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm privileged.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm privileged. And that's a sad situation. It worked for me, but it's sad that there is an equal privilege for everyone. And so, but like I didn't come from wealth, and I had to,
It's crazy that you chose to go down the medical route, given your circumstances.
I just, I'm a people pleaser. And I think the biggest thing that stuck with me from Christianity is love, is to just be loving and to be charitable, to love everyone.
Right.
And
But you can do that without being a doctor.
you can, but that was like also, yeah, good point. Yeah, there is, I do get quite a bit of personal satisfaction and fulfillment by being able to say, I'm a doctor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just like such a, it's like going to try to climb Mount Everest with the family back home and with no food and a couple almonds or something,
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, why do we get in each other's way in medicine? Like, why, as trained and board certified doctors, do we put roadblocks in doctors in training? Why do we put roadblocks in their way? Why do we do that? It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've already proven their worth. Let's help them out. And if they are failing to prove their worth, well, then they snuck through the system.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Well, we just spent an hour talking about the medical institution, and I really think we made some bounds, and I really appreciate you for breaking it down. In my early days of Oak Street, although it's still obviously new, when I first met you, basically in the break room, we had a talk about Native Americans. I was like, man, we need to talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
I forget exactly how we broke into it, but the idea of inhabiting the earth and the earth being the center point has stuck with me. And I love the fact that, we kind of 0.5 the idea of, or we just kind of 0.5 the scope of life by looking at it like that, instead of like getting caught up in human relations and everything. Just speak to that concept.
Yeah, I remember. I think we were talking about like,
And by 0.5, I mean like when you're taking a picture, you can 0.5 it and widen the scope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you meant by that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. I might use that. Yeah, I think we were talking about like climate change and carbon emissions and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and we were talking about like.
Plastic, because I was putting plastic in the microwave.
Yeah, I think something like that too. Yeah, and
Sorry, Bob.
You're so funny. Yeah, and so I was saying how I think that, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, but how Native Americans really had it right. They knew how to live with nature and not overconsume.
There it is.
And the Industrial Revolution, actually, even I've been thinking about this because I've been kind of thinking, I knew you wanted to talk about this. So I've been kind of thinking about that. And it's like the Industrial Revolution wasn't even the beginning of our overconsumption. You think about all the European countries and the Black Death, the plague, the bubonic plague, they didn't have that in the Americas. The diseases came to the Americas from the conquistadors
And McDonald's.
yeah, well, yeah, McDonald's. Well, nowadays, yeah, and so, and that's because Native Americans had this beautiful relationship with nature, and they revered nature, and they looked to the earth to be their guide. And they used every single part of the animals that they killed, and they were grateful for the sacrifice that those animals made for them. And I've always I'm probably romanticizing a lot of this, but they really knew how to consume responsibly. Conserve. And that wasn't really practiced in the European countries and things, it seems like, because there was so much population and densely populated areas, and the impoverishment and the poor health status and hygienic status of everyone in those densely populated areas is what allowed so much disease to occur. I mean, what was it like? People were pouring their feces and their urine out the windows into just the streets.
Right.
And it's the rat population just...
Yeah, I found a mouse on my doorstep the other day. As I was leaving, I was, you gotta be kidding me. Kind of kicked it into the bush.
Poor mouse. Oh. Yeah, like the rats just... They had this massive rat infestation, and those rats had fleas on them, and the fleas are what spread the bubonic plague.
Right. Well, yeah, I love the interpretation of Native American culture. It seems impossible to go back to, but I mean, like you said, it's perhaps romanticizing it because you also hear some crazy stories. You know, I prefer haircuts nowadays than rock to head or whatever. You know?
Yeah, it's at some point humanity is going to need to take a bigger responsibility, take a bigger step at being responsible. Obviously, our political leaders aren't ever going to come together.
Aren't concerned about that, yeah.
To figure that out. And so we as citizens, as human beings, we need to do our part. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know. I try not to give in to all those apocalyptic theories and things, but like, you know, I want this earth to be here for my kids when they're my age, and when they're, hopefully they live to be older than I live to be, and for their kids and their kids, you know? And so it just feels like the more we consume, the more we destroy this planet, and it's frightening.
If there were an apocalypse, what would be your first thing that you buy from the grocery store?
Well, I wouldn't buy anything from the grocery store if it was apocalypse. I would just...
Like before, like if you knew that there was going to be apocalypse, like...
I would buy guns and ammo.
Guns and ammo.
Have to protect my family.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Pokemon cards would be so cheap.
I guess I took that too seriously. I'd probably buy a bunch of alcohol.
Have a good time with the boys.
Or video games, yeah. We just hole ourselves into our house and play video games. Yeah. Maybe buy a generator.
Yeah.
Mormons are big apocalypse preparers.
Really?
Oh yeah.
A lot of rice and beans.
Yeah, a lot food. They call it home food storage. And
I moved. I have this little moving company, and I help move.
What are you not doing? My goodness.
No, the moving company is like once every blue moon, but got a call from a friend, and they needed some help, and they're like, yeah, just we're moving houses, and they just had these big containers, and I don't know which religion they were practicing, but there was just like massive amounts of rice and beans in these cargo ship containers. It seemed like, it was just like, they're just so heavy. But I respect it. To have rice and beans are healthy.
Yeah.
that's a good preservative food to have.
Yep.
Stored up. I really appreciate you for coming on the podcast. It's awesome sitting down with the doctor and hearing some great insight. Most of my fans are only familiar with Dr. Dre, so
Dr. Dre. Hey, he's cool.
Yeah. I really appreciate you for coming on, and is there anything else that you'd like to bring to the table?
Well, I mean, what are your endeavors? What are your plans for your future?
I'm interviewing you.
You're interviewing.
This isn't about me.
Okay. All right. Well,
You mentioned that you want to be a part of something special as a doctor, and you absolutely are being a part of something special every day when I see you in there working. So,
thanks, man.
yes, sir.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We'll see you in the next one.